1, 2, 3, testing, testing. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
To all of you joining here in the chapel and to you on YouTube. We're especially glad to have those of you who may be with us for the first time and hope to see you again soon. don't forget to silence your phones or any other mechanical noisemakers. I'm Phyllis Adams, your worship leader. Our speaker today is our own Reverend Landerman Zucker. She will explore with us the meaning of faith in her sermon titled, Faithful Over a Few Things. East Rose Fellowship sits on the occupied territory of the Clackamas Chinook people, who were forcibly displaced from this land to the Grand Ronde Reservation in 1855. We acknowledge the sacrifice endured by the ancestors of this land, and that our presence here today is only possible because of the injustices committed against them. We recognize the inherent sovereignty of the Chinook Nation and confederated tribes of Grand Ronde, who carry on the traditions, history, and legacy held by their ancestors from time immemorial to this day. We seek meaningful relationships with these communities that foster repair. And now, let's take a moment now and greet each other here today, both in the chapel and online. Please stand and face the cameras by the clock and wave hello to our friends, and then turn to your neighbor and say hello. Always hate to interrupt such wonderful conversations, but there'll be plenty of time later. For our online guests, if you would like to share a joy or sorrow during that portion of the service, you can do so by entering it in the YouTube chat, and those will be shared aloud with everyone. I also encourage you to identify yourself in the chat so that we may acknowledge your presence with us. Our responsive call to worship today is titled, It Matters What We Believe by Sophia Lyon Foz. I'll read the yellow, and you will respond with the white. Some beliefs are like walled gardens. They encourage exclusiveness and the feeling of being especially privileged.
Other beliefs are expansive and lead the way into wider and deeper sympathies.
Some beliefs are like shadows, clouding children's days and fears of unknown calamities.
Other beliefs are like sunshine, blessing children with the warmth of happiness.
Some beliefs are divisive, separating saved from unsaved, friends from enemies.
Other beliefs are bonds in the world community where sincere differences beautify the pattern.
Some beliefs are like blinders shutting off the power to choose one's own direction.
Other beliefs are like gateways, opening wide vistas for exploration.
Some beliefs weaken a person's selfhood. They blight the growth of resourcefulness.
Other beliefs nurture self-confidence and enrich the feeling of personal worth.
Some beliefs are rigid, like the body of death, impotent in a changing world.
Other beliefs are pliable, like the young sapling, ever growing with the upward thrust of life.
Words by Melanie Davis. If ever there were a time for a candle in the darkness, this would be it. Using your spark of faith, kindle the flame of love, ignite the light of peace, and feed the flame of justice.
Thank you, Phyllis. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. In your Easter finery. It's so good to see such a big crowd and to have the choir with us today. It's wonderful. And Sherry playing the drums. Welcome back, Sherry. My opening words today is a contemporary poem called All My Friends Are Finding New Beliefs by Christian Wyman. He writes, all my friends are finding new beliefs. This one converts to Catholicism, and this one to trees. In a highly literary and hitherto religiously indifferent Jew, God womps on like a generic generator. Paleo, keto, zone, South Beach, bourbon. Exercise regimens so extreme they merge with machine. One man marries a woman 20 years younger and twice in one brunch uses the word verdant. Another's brick-fisted belligerence gentles into dementia, and one, after a decade of feints and teases, like a sandpiper at the edge of the sea, fades away. Priesthoods and beasthoods, sombers and glees, high-styled renunciations and avocations of dirt, sobrieties, satieties, pilgrimages to the very center of being. All my friends are finding new beliefs, and I am finding it harder and harder to keep track of the new gods and the new loves, and the old gods and the old loves. And the days have daggers, and the mirrors have motives, and the planets turning faster and faster in the darkness, and my nights, my doubts, my friends, my beautiful, credible, pious friends. Our opening hymn is number 61 in the gray hymnal, Lo, the earth awakes again. Please rise as you are willing and able.
You guys. Yeah. Sorry about that. All right. Oh, no, we're fine. You guys just squeeze in where you can. Good morning. Welcome. Today's story is One Small Spark, a Tikkun Olam story by Ruth Spiro and illustrated by Victoria Tentler-Krylov. Tikkun Olam is a Jewish philosophy that means repair the world, though it can also be understood as improve or make right. At its heart is the belief that each of us carries a responsibility to make our world better, a calling to transform faith into action. Tikkun Olam invites us to first envision the world we wish to live in and then find our own path for bringing that vision to life. The path looks different for everyone. We each bring our unique perspectives, values, and talents to this shared work. As the author notes, working toward Tikkun Olam places both the responsibility and the power with all of us. When we observe problems and take action to address them, we are doing our part. Our world is good, but there are many ways we can work together to improve it. So the question is, do you have faith in the possibility of a kind, loving, and fair world? And if so, how might we each do our own part to help make it so? Let's explore together with one small spark. Imagine the world you want to live in. If that's not the world you see, will you create it? When something is broken or someone needs help, you have a choice, an opportunity to repair the world. In a moment, you decide who you are and who you want to be. A spark that lights your heart becomes an idea, and then action. Maybe you're small, but the problem feels big. It's okay to ask for help, because one person can't do everything, but everyone can do one thing, which may lead to another. Repairing the world takes understanding. It takes imagination. It takes practice. We're all on one team, each a string, like a rope made of strands, holding hands, woven, connected, stronger. Along the way, you'll discover that many things are perfect just as they are. You'll also discover that sometimes it's hard to know what to do. But even the tiniest spark will flicker and dance until it's impossible to ignore. Think of each act of kindness as a little gift given quietly, not for a reward or even a thanks, because when life isn't fair and you have more than you need, you have the power to create balance, and balance feels better. You know, your action today changes everything tomorrow, and then the world will be different. Imagine everyone gathering sparks, opening their hearts, and repairing our world together. Tikkun Olam. Tikkun Olam is an expression of active faith. Faith not just in the idea of a better world, but in our shared responsibility to help repair and create it. And now it's time to say goodbye to Reverend Robin and the adults and head to our classroom. If the children will stay here with me, the adults along the center aisle can form a bridge and they'll sing us out. Thank you.
Behold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go.
In our service, when you are invited to share a personal joy or sorrow in the supportive presence of this. I invite you now into some quiet time together, a time of meditation, and I invite you to uncross your legs, put your hands open in your lap, close your eyes, and take a big breath in and a big exhale out to start. See if you can soften your face, your forehead, your jaw, the space around your eyes. Move down to your shoulders and drop your shoulders. We tend to definitely walk with our shoulders crunched up. And just take a few exhales to start, a few inhales and exhales. No high thinking, no to-do lists. Just breathing. Then begin your rhythmic breathing. 4 beats in slowly through your nose, 5 or 6 beats out slowly through your mouth, creating a rhythm, creating spaciousness from the crown of your head down to the soles of your feet. Spaciousness and ease as you go. And let's just breathe together. As you breathe, I offer these words by my colleague, the Reverend Richard Gilbert. Faith, hope, love, these three I offer you this Easter. Faith that living affirms, hope that caring illumines, love that matters more than anything. Faith, hope, love, these three. Not as gifts I offer them, for they are not mine to give. They are yours and mine to share, humbly with one another. Fumbling, we hold their promise in our hands. Faintly, we speak the trembling words. Faith, hope, love, these three I offer you this Easter. Faith, hope, love. Slowly come out of your breathing pattern, back into this room. Big inhale, big exhale, and just, release. Our quiet song is number 38. Morning has broken. Please remain seated.
First
reading this morning, Set in Stone by Reverend Victoria Safford. In a cemetery once, an old one in New England, I found a strangely soothing epitaph. The name of the deceased and her dates had been scoured away by wind and rain, but there was a carving of a tree with roots and branches, a classic 19th century motif, and among them the words, "She attended well and faithfully to a few worthy things." At first this seemed to me a little meager, a little stingy on the part of her survivors. But I wrote it down and have thought about it since, and now I can't imagine a more proud and satisfying legacy. She attended well and faithfully to a few worthy things. Every day I stand in danger of being struck by lightning and having the obituary in the local paper say for all the world to see, "She attended frantically and ineffectually to a great many unimportant, meaningless details." How do you want your obituary to read? He got all the dishes washed and dried before playing with his children in the evening. She balanced her checkbook with meticulous precision and never missed a day of work. Missed a lot of sunsets, missed a lot of love, missed a lot of risk, missed a lot, but her money was in order. She answered all her calls, all her emails, excuse me, all her voicemail, but along the way she forgot to answer the call to service and compassion and forgiveness, first and foremost of herself. He gave and forgave sparingly, without radical intention, without passion or conviction. She could not or would not hear the calling of her heart. How will it read? How does it read? And if you had to name a few worthy things to which you attend well and faithfully, what, I wonder, would they be?
I spotted the first sign as we crested a small hill on Skillet Road, a rural byway that runs between Owasco, one of the New York Finger Lakes, and the rolling farmland of Cayuga County. The sign was professionally printed, and it swung on a wrought iron rail alongside an American flag with this plea, "Create in me a clean heart, O Lord," Psalm 51. I smirked. It was 10 years ago, August 2015, on a fine, sunny vacation day, perfect for a bike ride. As we cruised right along Gillings Road, the second sign came into view, painted in confident letters on a barnwood sandwich board in the intersection. "Close your Facebook and open your faith book," it exhorted us. In a similar vein, the other side of the board promised that God answers email. Clever. Still, eye roll. We passed an Amish homestead called God's Blessing Farm with a strapping young man baling hay with his shirt sleeves rolled up, and he waved and smiled and we waved back. And then just a bit further, a whitewashed church appeared with this enticement for its vacation Bible camp: "Make Jesus your BFF this summer." Honestly, moments later, while pedaling along Fleming Scipio Town Line Road, the sky opened up, releasing a fierce summer shower. And luckily, as you can see, this being a bit of a Bible Belt bubble, we made it under the covered entryway of the unadorned Scipio Community Church just ahead before getting utterly drenched. And what did the sign say in front of this unexpected refuge say? "I was a stranger and you sheltered me." Well, I audibly gasped. It wasn't just that we were, in fact, strangers and they were sheltering us. That was pretty cool. It was notable and true and a great coincidence. Or was it more of a random coincidence? Was it a sign, a kind of cosmic comeuppance? So I sat on the well-worn pew that had been set outside the door, eating my Cliff Bar with a lump in my throat, admitting to myself that I had been cruising along with a spiritually snooty attitude. I mean, aren't these the people with outdated, unsophisticated beliefs, the ones we wish would stop clinging to such religious hoo-ha? Perhaps. But on that drizzly day in August, on a country road with nowhere else to take cover, those silly scripture lovers pierced my uppity liberal veneer with simple kindness. I thought back to that first sign I saw, the one that said, "Create in me a clean heart, O Lord." And I whispered softly into the rain, "Create in me a clean heart, Spirit of life." And I meant it. For folks who claim to be open-minded, progressive, and guardians of our fourth principle, the free and responsible search for truth and meaning, we Unitarian Universalists can be downright judgmental and condescending at times on the topic of faith. When the subject arises, the reactions can be swift and dismissive. "We're skeptics here. We cherish our doubts." Faith in what? Faith? Hosh posh. That's just unreasonable. Show me something you can prove. Yet I can tell you from experience, both as a seeker and as a minister, that there are faithful people here at East Rose and out there in our YouTube congregation. This may not be grandma's old-time faith exactly. It probably isn't, but it is faith nevertheless. Free-form, rich in history, highly personal, and ripe with possibility for spiritual deepening. During my tenure at the First Unitarian Church in Pittsburgh, 2 congregants approached me to support their effort to plant a chapter of the UU Christian Fellowship there, and I encouraged them to plunge ahead. I heard snarky comments from some corners when the invitation went out from this group along the lines of, "What are we doing with a Christian group here at a UU church? A Christian group? Egads." As gently as I could, I reminded these naysayers of our roots as a liberal Protestant denomination, and that one of our 6 sources draws on Jewish and Christian teachings which call us to respond to God's love by loving our neighbors as ourselves. And I added, and I will underscore this point today, that in order for us to fulfill our essential calling as a place of sacred purpose, to truly call ourselves free thinkers, we need to affirm, not merely tolerate, the presence of a UU Christian fellowship as readily as we would a humanist group, a pagan group, a chapter of UUs for Jewish Awareness, a Sufi poetry salon, the Atheist League, or a Buddhist meditation circle. That's free thinking. As expected, their UU Christian Fellowship started very small, but it grew very quickly to 12 or more mighty and faithful folk. And I looked on their website recently, and it's still going strong. And they believe they've created a space for a particular brand of UU faith to flourish, and I salute them. Now, this being Easter Sunday, I have Jesus on my mind too. Not Christ, the risen Lord. He is not, nor has he ever been, part of my theology or belief system as a Jewishly raised Unitarian Universalist, but rather the humanitarian Jesus, the one embraced by early Unitarians who had eschewed the divine Christ in the early 1800s. Jesus, born Joshua ben Joseph, the preacher, the prophet, the rebellious rabbi, the healer, the wise weaver of parables, the Jesus that shows up at First Unitarian Church in Pittsburgh for those UU Christians on Sunday mornings. Yeshua, the fully human man who rode into Jerusalem on a donkey some 2,000 plus years ago to waving palms and pageantry and to fulfill a complex destiny. Now that entry scene, and I mentioned it last week too, that entry scene is one of the most epic in films recounting the Passion story. You might remember Ben-Hur or The Greatest Story Ever Told. And these Hollywood classics are eye-popping. But a couple years ago, during Lent, I was drawn to a slightly different take on the Easter story, playing in a theater near you, a film called Risen. Every year, there is an Easter-themed movie in theaters, and I love to go see it. And this one was called Risen. I arrived in a dark, mostly empty theater on a Tuesday afternoon for a viewing because it was billed as a thriller in which a Roman tribune named Claudius is tasked with leading a manhunt for the missing body of Jesus. This same tribune had overseen Jesus' crucifixion. So one reviewer called it the resurrection story told in the voice of a non-believer. Now, how could I resist a faith journey told in the voice of a non-believer, especially when I had a UU Easter sermon to write? Now, spoiler alert, Pontius Pilate, Claudius's boss, realizes that if the tale of the risen Jesus spreads, his following will only grow. Find his body and bring it to me. But if we know the story, we know this proves impossible. The tomb is empty, the ropes holding it closed are virtually blown apart, and Claudius is bewildered. But then, after various twists and turns, the sleuth meets Jesus himself in a small hut, surrounded by his joy-filled ashram of disciples. Claudius can hardly believe his eyes. How can this be? But now he can't go back. He's failed, and this will mean certain death for him. So he joins Jesus and his disciples on their trek through the desert. Now, the risen Jesus of this film is the perfect, blissed-out Zen master, even sitting cross-legged on a rock, meditating and spouting Buddha-esque aphorisms like, "Be ye lights unto yourself." But, I found this more authentic than many depictions because we get a Jesus with heart in this film. And at least the actor portraying him is olive-skinned and looks like he could have come from Nazareth, not Stockholm. Now, the 12 actors who portrayed his disciples all looked like Ashkenazi Eastern European Jews who had been plucked from a nearby touring company of Fiddler on the Roof. But even so, the film delivers a valuable and memorable message. Clavius actually sees Jesus heal a leper, provide fish for his tribe, appear and disappear, and preach love of his neighbor. He even observes Jesus' resurrection, and he must confront the meaning of faith. It's unavoidable, though something very new and strange to him. At one point, Jesus asks him, "What do you seek, Clavius? Certainty? Peace? A day without death?" He's not sure. And in the end, Clavius on his own, after the disciples have scattered to spread the gospel, tells his tale to a shepherd he encounters in a desert hut. And the shepherd asks, "And you believe all of this?" To which the former tribune responds, "I believe I will never be the same." We live in a strikingly different context than these characters, but we too can be transformed by experiences, even a bike ride. The journalist David Brooks calls these experiences the shock of faith. And we can ask ourselves in those moments what we seek in our faith journeys: certainty, peace, a day without death. Peace, yes. We seek peace for ourselves and for the world, for Ukraine and Gaza, and all throughout our own beleaguered country. A day without death? If only this was possible on our cruel and violent planet. But yes, a day without death is worth envisioning. Certainty is an unlikely wish for us, at least religiously. That's why many of us have chosen to gather in a UU context to begin with. One which intentionally invites us, expects us to explore faith without certainty. But don't be mistaken. People that think that's easy, it's not. It's the harder route because it's difficult and exacting to craft a difficult and authentic faith without certainty and rigid answers. There are days when I struggle, and I'm kind of envious of those folks at the Skypio Community Church who rest in their rock-solid beliefs, memorized prayers, and doctrines. They've embraced certainty, and that looks mighty appealing on some days. It would be one less thing to worry about, right? Just pick up a faith book and send some email. But the anxiety passes, usually quite quickly, as this is not my journey, nor the journey most UUs have chosen to take. And regardless of the rigor, this liberally religious road of open vistas is worth traveling as we become good and faithful servants in our own unique way. The Reverend Peter Friedrich has preached that we all believe in something. It may even be the conviction that there is nothing to believe in, but that is a faith statement unto itself. There is blind faith, and there is another kind of faith that comes from transforming experiences, comes from the shock of faith in the everyday. The kind that doesn't just accept what we're told, but says, show me. the faith that grows out of our doubts and our questioning, a you faith, a living faith, a hopeful faith grounded in the real world. Those words inspire me today as we hold on to hope and optimism during great upheaval and pain at home and abroad. We strive to remain faithful to the promises of tomorrow, perhaps with a heightened gratitude for what life is offering us in this broken and hurting world, aching for a unique kind of resurrection. Understandably, as religious liberals, we may be grasping for some form of faith right now. Friends, remember and take strength from the notion that when our childhood faith lets us down, to still believe in something is a hard-won victory. Our life experiences can shake us to the core, and they're bound to mold and shape and inform our faith. But welcome to this exploration of what grounds you, what rounds you, and what confounds you. The human Jesus clearly practiced and examined faith because we hear him question it on the cross. Father, why have you forsaken me? And remember, in the film Risen, Claudius actually sees the evidence. He sees the resurrected Christ, and he still struggles with his faith. To focus on our unbounded faith journeys, we can decide to be patient and faithful over a few carefully curated, worthy things. As a result, we can gain more mastery and depth, and we too can receive a crown of life. And if we choose well, we may experience a type of resurrection into our best selves, our highest selves, courageous and joyful with a sense of always becoming, because this is the Easter faith of Unitarian Universalism. In her reflections, Set in Stone, which Phyllis read for us, the Reverend Victoria Safford tells that tale of one such woman who attended well and faithfully to a few worthy things. It was the epitaph right there on her tombstone, which seemed a bit stingy and meager to Safford at first, until she came to view it as a satisfying legacy. This quote about being faithful over a few things, drawn from Matthew 25, stirs Safford up as she laments, "Every day I stand in danger of being struck by lightning and having the obituary in the local paper say, for all the world to see, she attended frantically and ineffectually to a great many unimportant, meaningless details." And she goes on to enumerating them: answering emails, balancing her checkbook while missing lots of love and glorious sunsets, listening to voicemail rather than the calling of her heart. Considering her own epitaph, she muses, how will it read? How does it read? And if you had to name a few worthy things to which you attend well and faithfully, what, I wonder, would they be? On this Easter morning, ask yourselves, good and faithful servants, what would they be? Create in us a clean heart, Spirit of life, and help us to watch for the signs. Blessed be, blessed we, and amen. Our hymn is number 266 in the gray hymnal, Now the Green Blade Riseth. Please rise as you are able.
Each week, we take an offering to support this church and to share with a community nonprofit. Through August, half our offering will go to NAYA, Native American Youth and Family Center, which serves Native Americans from across the Portland metropolitan area. Their aim is to enhance the diverse strengths of youth and families in partnership with the community through cultural identity and education. They promote healthy living through positive alternatives to high-risk behaviors and promote the values of sobriety, family stability, culture, active lifestyles, and education. Our congregation is involved in several projects with NAYA, and we encourage you to check Petals or contact Karen Pyle for ways to join this partnership. If you're attending online, you may donate by visiting our website and click the donate button, or you may scan the QR code on the screen. If you are here for the first time, we invite you to let the basket pass and truly be our guest. The gifts of the congregation will now most gratefully be received. That beautiful. We have so much to be grateful for. Please remain seated and let's sing our gratitude song. The words will be on the screen.
Is the mic on? Great. So we're going to have a new member ceremony. It's so exciting to have new members with us. So I'm going to call the following people up to stand here in front of the Joys and Sorrows table. April Hill. Is April here? Is she in the hall? Oh, maybe you could call her in. Rolf Nessie, on behalf of both him and Anne, who is at home right now. Karen Wolfgang. Jean Mooney. Nancy Eckberg, and Aaron Smith. Come on up. Stand here. I guess we already welcomed April. Okay, I started on the list a little too high. Today we welcome into our community these new members who have chosen to make a deeper commitment to this congregation by signing our membership book. New members, we are so glad to have you here with us and that you have chosen this community of seekers to travel with you on your life's journey. Then I have a bunch of questions. When I'm done, you can choose to say we will or not. Will you accept our gifts of belonging, discovery, and service? Will you offer us your unique presence and gifts? Will you add your name to the long history of Unitarian Universalists? Unitarian Universalist individuals who spread hope with our living faith. Will you engage with us as we seek to create a beloved community and a world dedicated to love and justice? If so, please say, we will.
We will.
Who do we have on the end there?
I'm Ashley.
My wife, Ashley.
Oh, hi, Ashley. Now I'm going to ask the congregation. Will you welcome these new members with the warmth and comfort of your presence? Will you seek to add your strengths and talents to the new gifts they bring us? Will you share our triumphs and our struggles with them as our community grows and changes? If so, please say, we will.
We will.
Let's applaud our new members. And they will each receive a gift. Actually, Rolf will get two since Anne is not here. And Ashley, if you want to sign the book afterwards, I'm happy to have you do that. And did everybody get books? Great. Welcome, Karen. Welcome, Nancy. Welcome again, Rolf. Rolf and Ann signed the book years ago, but then they went off to other churches. Welcome, Aaron. Welcome, Jean. Welcome, little one. Welcome, Ashley. You may be seated. And again, let's applaud our new members.
Worship, the words, let me start over. That was so much fun, I lost track. The words, the extinguishing chalice words today are by Eric Hepburn. We extinguish this flame to remind us love is the center. As we explore and rest, engage and heal, love remains the center. When all we can see is cold ashes, love remains. I have several announcements today, but first, I want to thank the multitude of participants who brought this beautiful service to you today. Our speaker, Reverend Robin, music from Mary Reese and the Sunrise Choir under the direction of Tyler Perez, Mel Carroll on flute, and Sherry Sirkin on drums. A Time for All Ages from Tara Toler. AV Tech, John Netherton, and Ayla in the back. Our greeters, Patty Walsh and Ruth White. And coffee brought to you by Rolf Nessie. And our basket passers, Sue and Cynthia. Many who brought flowers, and all of you for attending and sharing in this beautiful Easter service.
Thank you, Phyllis.
Sweet refreshments and an Easter egg rock hunt after the service. That took me a little by surprise. Children are invited to search for colorfully painted rocks hidden around the East Rove's grounds, which they can keep as lasting mementos of the day. Wednesday walkers will walk the Orchard Cedar Grove Loop Trail on Powell Butte on Wednesday. Our annual neighborhood plant swap on Saturday, April 26th. From 10:30 to 12:30. And in case you didn't see them, there are free strawberry starts for you out next to the entrance. You may have seen them when you came in. Happy gardening. And P.S., Eric Chewy says, there's also a bag of them, of hens and chickens for your co-op garden? Coop garden. Okay, sorry. And there are a number of additional announcements in the petals and details on some of the ones I've already mentioned, so please see the petals for all of these other announcements.
Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you all for being here today. We do have coffee and some refreshments in the back, but before we go back there, let us say our unison benediction together. Very fitting for the theme and feel of today's service.
Go out into the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings.
Go out in joy and return in love. Thank you.